This morning, how Dane County is providing help to make sure you get the credits and refunds you deserve when filing your taxes.
Plus, new polling on the April statewide elections. Hear from the poll director on the trends in the new numbers.
Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now This Morning. I'm Kyrie Unley.
I'm Chris Stanford. We've got some gorgeous weather in store. It was so nice yesterday. Everybody was out.
Yes.
What'd you do with the kiddos?
Yes, we got out and about, got to the park, played out there for a while.
Parks were packed yesterday.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we have like a secret park, I like to call it, that not many people like they frequent it, but not the playground area.
Gotcha.
So I'm just like, yeah, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Lots of people out in shorts, short sleeves.
You know it.
All of it. And I'm just like, whoa, I don't know if I'm there just yet.
Got to live up to our reputation.
Yeah.
All right, let's check in with Jacob Montesano, is in for Savannah this morning, the first warn forecast. What'd you get out and do yesterday? I'm sure you got out and enjoyed a little bit of weather, huh?
Oh, yeah, walk the dog. I have a husky, so she has the most energy of any dog you ever see.
She's loving it.
She could walk for 3 straight hours and still not get tired. So definitely went on a few of those yesterday. Definitely will go on a few more today as the temperatures will get even warmer. Lower 30s, upper 20s right now. If you compare them to the average low for this time of year, they are mild, but obviously if you step outside, still on the cooler side, but those temperatures are going to warm up very nicely. Clear skies in southern Wisconsin right now, and zooming further out, there's almost no precipitation anywhere near Wisconsin, just a few light flurries up near Lake Superior, but throughout the day, we'll see plenty of sunshine, highs in the 60s, a little bit of wind, but overall the wind not too bad. It's going to be even warmer compared to yesterday, adding about 8 to 10 degrees compared to yesterday's highs. This will very likely be the warmest day of the year, but it's not the warmest day in the forecast, if you can believe it. I'll have more details on that coming up a little bit later.
All right. Everybody loves the weather person today.
Yes.
No complaints in the weather department.
I picked the right day to fill in for Savannah.
You did. You nailed it. Nailed it. Thanks, Jacob. Hey, well, tax season is underway, and this morning, Dane County is providing some resources to help you file your taxes if you haven't.
Our consumer reporter, Michelle Renee Quinn, has the details. Good morning.
Chris, Kyrion, good morning. Free tax preparation is available by appointment for Dane County residents. Now, this service is through Extension Dane County at the Richard Dilley Tax Center. The center provides in-person assistance to low-income individuals and families, seniors, and people with disabilities to ensure they receive all eligible tax credits and refunds. Dane County Executive Melissa Agard will be speaking this morning at 11 to highlight the center's free tax preparation services. You can schedule an appointment with the Richard Dilley Tax Center online or call the scheduling line Monday through Friday between 8 and 4:30 at the number on your screen. It will be open until April 14th on Mondays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Now, if you need help with your taxes, definitely reach out because this is a free resource. We have a link for you to schedule an appointment online attached to this story at channel3000.com.
All right, Michelle Renee Quinn with that information. Thank you.
Well, today, people living in Cottage Grove have the opportunity to learn more about the upcoming referendum on their ballot. The April 1st referendum will ask voters whether they support funding for a new public library. It would be the village's first. If the village votes in favor, it would increase the property tax levy by $1.3 million. Village officials will be on hand to answer questions at these info sessions. The first is this evening at 5:30, the second on Thursday at 1:30. They'll take place at the Village Hall, and you can also watch the live streams on YouTube and Zoom.
In Sun Prairie this morning, a 19-year-old man is in custody connected to a shooting. The shooting happened early Sunday morning just after 3 o'clock. Officers were called to a home on South Bird Street. When they got there, they found a teenage girl with a gunshot wound to her shoulder. Sun Prairie police say the two people know each other and were with another group of people before the shooting. The girl's condition is stable. If you have any information that could help out Sun Prairie Police, give them a call at their non-emergency line. The number is 837-7336.
We're 3 weeks and 1 day out from Election Day here in Wisconsin. 3 races will be on every ballot in the state. They include the state Supreme Court seat, DPI superintendent, and a constitutional referendum. Marquette Law School released a new poll last week looking at the races. They're the only numbers we will see regarding what's on the April ballot. Poll director Charles Franklin joined us on For the Record to describe just how close the races appear.
I think you can see something, and that is that the net favorability, more favorable or more unfavorable, that's very close for 3 of these candidates. For the Supreme Court, Brad Schimmel is about plus or minus, is about 1 point underwater. Susan Crawford is about 1 point above water. We've got a big margin of error on these things, and so that's essentially, people see them equally favorably and unfavorably. There's not a big advantage.
Franklin says the trends in the DPI superintendent race are quite similar. Don't forget that For the Record airs every Sunday morning at 10:30 right here on News 3 Now.
5 people are recovering after a plane crash in Pennsylvania. This happened right at several parked cars before the plane burst into flames. Take a look at the video. It's in the parking lot of a retirement community. Air traffic controllers could be heard saying that the plane had an open door and needed to make an emergency landing.
We're grateful it wasn't any closer.
They should be thankful no one was killed. I'm surprised, really.
The fact that we have a plane crash where everybody survives and nobody on the ground is hurt is a wonderful thing.
Officials with the National Transportation Safety Board said they'll be working with the FAA to investigate. In January, 7 people were killed when a small medical jet crashed into a neighborhood in Philadelphia. Just 2 days before that in Washington, D.C., a Black Hawk military helicopter collided with an American Airlines plane. 67 people lost their lives in that crash.
A man is recovering in the hospital after an armed confrontation near the White House. This happened early yesterday morning. The Secret Service says a man from Indiana had parked near the White House, and when they walked up to him, the man allegedly took out a handgun. That's when agents shot him. No Secret Service agents got hurt. President Donald Trump was not at the White House. He spent the weekend at Mar-a-Lago.
An update on the Pope's condition now. The Vatican says the Pope is responding well to his pneumonia therapy. They say that he's shown some gradual, slight improvements in the recent days. However, yesterday did mark the 4th straight day he did not appear for his weekly noon blessing. The Vatican planned to distribute the transcript of the message he would have given, though. The Argentine Pope has chronic lung disease and has had part of one lung removed as a young man. He had no fever and good oxygen levels in his blood for several days now.
6:08, let's check in with Jacob. What's coming up?
Yeah, here's a look at today's forecast. Hard to get better than this, but I'll talk more about the rest of the week coming up.
And in your morning sports, a major shakeup with Badger women's basketball. Our Andrew Banstra has all the details.
Plus, the nomination round officially over for the Spirit of Service. What happens next and when you can vote for the top veteran to win that $5,000 cash prize. That's in the 608.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
We're back 6:12 on your Monday. In the 608 this morning, our Spirit of Service campaign is officially in its next phase of the process.
All right, Josh Prider joins us with where we are now and what happens next. Josh, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. The nomination period is officially over this morning, and we broke last year's record, truly slamming it out of the park. Close to 200 nominations of local veterans came in this year, guys, nearly doubling our number from last year. We are once again partnering with Vortex and Barneveld to make this happen. Vortex and News 3 Now want to recognize a local veteran making a positive impact in the community. Just like last year, the winning veteran will take home of one conditional $5,000 cash prize presented by Vortex. So here's what's happening moving forward this week. The Vortex board is narrowing down those noms to 5. Then starting next Monday, the 17th, running through the 30th, you'll be able to vote for your favorite. I'll be sharing the stories for all top 5 veterans all next week, so you'll get a chance to hear from them right here on TV. And then the winner will be announced on April 2nd live on News 3 Now this morning. So if you want to learn more about how you can support those local veterans and follow the process for yourself, just go to the story on channel3000.com. So I should also note, we were at 180 on Friday. I haven't gotten the updated number from over the weekend yet, so we'll get that today. So we probably are even more than 200.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
This morning. So yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, we love to see it. We knew that there were so many great people, and as this has really caught on, people are getting the recognition they deserve here in our community. So
I mean, that's going to be really hard to narrow that down to just 5.
I don't envy the Vortex folks this week because I don't know how you go through 200 nominations of really fantastic people down to 5. So that's going to be wild.
Yes, and I know they're all doing great things, so hopefully they'll be able to do that with ease.
Yeah, we'll see. Next week, we'll start meeting those candidates.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Thanks,
great. Josh.
You bet.
Hey, Josh is always looking for inspiration to share in the 608. You got an idea? He'd love to hear it. So shoot him a message and let him know about it.
Well, it's feeling good on this Monday, or it will be at least. Let's check in now with meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Good morning.
Good morning, Kyrian. It's going to be even warmer compared to yesterday by about 7 to 10 degrees, if you could believe it. 60s are in the forecast for today. This will likely be the first 60-degree day of the year. Still mild for tomorrow, but temperatures will be slightly cooler as we are going to see the wind shift out of the north. By the time we get to Friday night, we will see some rain, but almost no rain until then. Now, taking a look at today's forecast again, plenty of sunshine, really hard to get better than this. Middle to upper 60s, a little bit of wind, but again, I keep saying the wind not going to be all that bad for the afternoon. Mild lows tonight as well, as lows will only drop into the lower 40s. Could see a few 30s out there, but still very mild compared to this time of the year, what we normally see. And then for tomorrow, again, a little bit cooler, but still going to see highs near 50 when the average high is in the lower 40s. Now, as we take a look at the high temperature for the rest of the week after tomorrow, it's going to warm back up to near 60 for Thursday, near 70 for Friday. It's going to be very windy, though, as the winds will be out of the south, a lot windier than today. However, we could be talking about our first 70-degree day later this week. Now, we are going to see some rain, especially Friday night, and that will really cool the temperatures down by the time we get to Sunday, as those winds will shift out of the northwest. Now, speaking of the winds, here's a look at the wind gust forecast for today. We'll see gusts around 25 to 30 miles per hour, so we definitely have seen worse. They'll be out of the south today, but then tomorrow they are going to be out of the north, which will bring in that cooler air for tomorrow. But because the winds will calm down later in the day, it will actually help keep those temperatures from getting any colder than what we will see tomorrow. Now, as we take a look at the precipitation chances for the next 7 days, again, very dry through much of the work week, even through the day on Friday. We're not expecting that rain until overnight, maybe in the early evening, but right now it looks like most of it will happen overnight into early Saturday. Let's take a look at the forecast for that. So starting Friday afternoon will be dry. This is around midnight to 1 a.m. Saturday morning. Notice the rain still not really reaching Madison, but then it will push through Madison early Saturday morning. But this initial line of showers and storms does look to clear out pretty early in the morning Saturday, but we still are expecting some light showers throughout the day. And then as we get towards Sunday, Saturday night and Sunday, the winds will shift and that will cool the temperatures down a little bit. Could even see some light snow for Sunday. However, it doesn't look like we're going to see much, if any at all. But until then, it's still going to be mild, although it will cool down for that Sunday and St. Patrick's Day. So first 60s today, possibly first 70s on Friday, and even between then, temperatures will be above normal.
Last night, UW Athletics announced that Marissa Mosley had resigned from her role as Wisconsin women's basketball's head coach. This comes after 4 straight losing seasons. Mosley was hired in 2021 and compiled a 47-75 record at the helm for the Badgers. In a statement, Mosley said she notified athletic director Chris McIntosh of her decision to resign for personal reasons, adding it has been a privilege to lead this program at Wisconsin. Associate head coach Margaret McKeon will step in as the interim head coach in the meantime, while the Badgers began a nationwide search for her replacement. To lose the way that Wisconsin men's basketball did in their regular season finale, there are just no other ways to put it than it was a heartbreaker for the Badgers. It robbed them of a double bye in the Big Ten tournament and put their chances of opening the NCAA tournament in Milwaukee in serious jeopardy. For Greg Gard, he's not just going to flush the loss and move on. He says he'll dissect what went wrong, try to fix it for when it really matters.
Yeah, there's going to be, I'm sure, a lot of teaching from this, and but it's and then we got to, like I told them, we're lucky we get to play again, but from here on out we'll play like this. You won't play long, so we know how good we can be, but we've got to be able to respond from this, because this is obviously not how you want to have a senior day.
And Gard mentioned responding. The Badgers will have plenty of chances to do just that. The Big Ten tournament starts for them on Thursday. We still don't know who they'll play in that second round of the tournament. They'll get the winner of Minnesota and Northwestern on Thursday night at 6:30. It all comes down to this for Wisconsin men's hockey. After winning Game 1 of the Big Ten tournament's first round in Columbus, the Badgers lost on Saturday, setting up a must-win Game 3 last night to extend their lease on life for a postseason bid. They had Game 2 in the bag and lost it late and would try to rebound last night. Last life here, midway through the first period, Badgers trailing 1-0, and Gavin Morrissey takes advantage of the power play, putting it past the keeper to tie it at 1 apiece. But after that, it was bad news for the Badgers. Trailing 2-1 in the third, and Ohio State delivers the death blow. Wisconsin loses 3-2 and sees their season come to an end. Wisconsin women's hockey is officially 3 wins away from a national championship. The NCAA unveiled the tournament bracket last night, and to no surprise, the Badgers are the #1 overall seed. It all starts on Saturday at LeBron Arena when Bucky hosts the winner of Clarkson and Boston University. Assuming they win that, they're off to the Frozen Four in the Twin Cities, where they will likely play Minnesota. And if they win that, it sets up a crash course for a 3rd straight national championship game that will feature Wisconsin and Ohio State. That is your morning sports fix. Have a beautiful beginning to your week.
Still ahead, the new spring menu at Chick-fil-A.
Coming up in our next half hour, Canada's next prime minister and his message for America.
And before we head to break, here's a look at gas prices this morning. Time now 6:20. We'll be right back. We're back at 6:23. This photo from Gwen. She actually said this is a lily. So there's that. And there's a special story behind it. Obviously, I left my phone over at the desk. But yes, so yeah, so she shared us with this morning. So this is special to her. And it's a beautiful flower.
Well, thanks for sharing it.
Little sign of spring.
Yeah,
I like that.
A lot of signs out there.
Yeah.
Goes with the vibe this morning.
Yes,
Thanks,
it
Gwen.
does.
Trending this morning, those basketball fans are getting so good at those half-court shots for cash. Check this latest one out. This is from Thursday night during the Knicks-Lakers game at Crypto.com Arena. Pressure on here. Half-court. Everyone's watching. $100,000 on the line. Banks it home.
Boom. Bada bing, bada boom.
Nice, huh?
Wow.
Look at that.
I said I'd become an all-star too if 100K was on the line. I'm like, I'm about to line the shot up real nice. So yeah, I know he's lit. He looks lit.
He's
very excited.
For a week. Look at that.
And his woman's like, yes,
Yes,
finally.
woman's like,
yeah, we are. Let's go, baby. Yes, yes.
Love that. Love that. Hey, Chick-fil-A just dropped their spring menu. The headliner, the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is coming back. This time you've got 3 options: original, spicy, or grilled. It's paired with crispy bacon, hand-tossed in a brown sugar and black pepper blend, topped with Colby Jack cheese, green leaf lettuce, and a smoky barbecue sauce, served on a toasty, buttery, sweet yeast bun. There are some also some nice, refreshing beverages.
Do you want us to go get you one?
To go along with it.
You should voice the
There's
commercial.
bacon on there. It could be considered breakfast.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. What do we think? This looks good, huh?
Well, Chick-fil-A has chicken
starting-
breakfast sandwiches, so this would not be.
Anything
Yeah.
barbecue and bacon, sign me up.
Yes,
I see
I'll
it
say
starts the
yes, sounds good.
17th, so you gotta wait.
Gotta
Gotta wait at least a
wait a
week.
few more days.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, the sandwich. I would go for the original sandwich. That's what I used to go for.
I would agree.
Do you go
Josh,
with
you're a
the-
spicy
Do
kind
you
of
go
guy.
with spicy or original?
OG. Original.
Okay, yeah. What about you?
Nice. I'd probably go original.
Original, okay.
Spicy if I'm feeling a little,
Having a little razzle dazzle to your day. Yeah. Yeah, dragon fruit drink, not so sure about. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
the spring vibe, though.
Totally.
Like
There
the
you
lemonade
go.
flavor. I feel like any pink drink kind of feels like spring, summer, and it's definitely going to feel like it today. You know what? The temperatures yesterday wasn't the only thing that made it feel like spring. That late sunset, too.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the case today as well.
Love it.
All right, we're back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
In trade, as in hockey, Canada will win.
This morning, Canada's new prime minister, his background and what he says about relations with America.
Plus, farm tariffs, the new retaliation from China, and how President Trump is responding.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is a Monday. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Ann Lee. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. I know waking up may be a little tough this morning with the time change. I know I was hugging those covers real tight and realized, like, you got to get up.
Tough to get to bed last night with weather that gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know, you're riding high, the sun's going down later. We got some of those nice temperatures in the forecast yet today, too.
Yes, it's getting me in a good mood. So let's check in now with meteorologist Jacob Montesano, who's in this morning. Jacob, how are we going to be looking today?
Well, the weather's looking very good, and I'm hoping that the weather can make all those people, you know, the first Monday after the time change, make them feel a little bit better, especially with that later sunset, and the temperatures really going to feel like spring today. Now, right now, they still are on the cooler side, but compared to the average low, which is normally in the lower 20s, we're in the middle to lower 30s across the area. A few locations are in the upper 20s, kind of a big temperature variation with upper 20s to even near 40 for some areas, but everyone expect to see consistent 60s across the area today. 66, 65 degrees is the forecasted high for today in Madison. Plenty of sunshine, a little bit breezy throughout the day, but the winds overall not too bad. Now let's put these temperatures into some context. Yesterday was the warmest day of the year so far. Today is expected to exceed that. 65 is the forecasted high, and we actually could be flirting with records here in Madison. Forecasted high 65, record 66. And take a look at the high compared to normal. It's going to be around 25 degrees above that normal level. Low temperature, a little bit closer to normal, but still above that level. But if you can believe it, it's not the warmest day in the forecast. It's the warmest day of the year, but we're going to see even warmer temperatures at least one day going forward. I'll talk more about that coming up a little bit.
You know, not that I condone it, but if you're going to play hooky, today might be a good day to do it. Not that I condone it.
No, I'll say no, but I guess if you had to choose.
This might not be a bad day to do it, though.
Exactly.
All right, let's get to our top stories. We now know who Canada's next prime minister will be, and it's expected to have a major impact on the trade war with the U.S.
Former central banker Mark Carney is now the leader of the Liberal Party. It means he will soon take over as prime minister. Carney won 86% of the vote among party members. He beat former finance minister Chrystia Freeland. It rounds out a quick contest to pick a new party leader. The race began when Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stepped down as party leader in January. His successor did not take long to attack his American counterpart.
America is not Canada. And Canada never, ever will be part of America in any way, shape, or form. We didn't ask for this fight. We didn't ask for this fight. But Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. So the Americans, they should make no mistake, in trade as in hockey, Canada will win.
Regarding the trade war, Carney said Canada is rightfully retaliating. He has vowed to continue with tariffs as long as necessary.
Who is Mark Carney? Well, the Edmonton native attended Harvard University for his undergraduate. He later earned his master's and PhD at the University of Oxford. Carney served in recent months as a special economics advisor to Justin Trudeau. Before that, he was the UN Special Envoy on Climate Action. He has never held public office. It's unclear exactly when he'll start as prime minister. Either he or Parliament will likely call a general election in the coming weeks.
6:33, China is imposing new retaliatory tariffs on certain U.S. agriculture goods today. President Donald Trump says his trade policies will make the U.S. richer in the end, but his administration is starting to acknowledge the potential for at least some short-term pain for Americans. The measures include an extra 15% on chicken, wheat, corn, and cotton, and 10% on items including beef and soybeans. Some American farmers say they're worried escalating trade tensions can make it harder to sell their products abroad.
Everything we produce far exceeds what the domestic market could handle.
Are you expecting a recession this year?
I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition because what we're doing is very big. We're bringing wealth back to America.
Most mainstream economists say tariffs can be inflationary. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick acknowledges some prices might rise in the U.S., but Trump says any pain would be short-term.
Well, we are 3 weeks and 1 day away from the election here in Wisconsin, and the race for the state Supreme Court is still front and center. Susan Crawford and Brad Schimmel are running for that empty seat on the bench. It's an election that will decide the ideological balance of the court. State Supreme Court elections are technically nonpartisan, but liberals and conservatives are lining up behind Crawford and Schimmel, respectively. As Brad Schimmel told us on For the Record, he looks to set politics aside.
As a judge now, I interpret the law the way someone else wrote it. So I have the same kind of respect for the rules that someone else, another branch of government, made. But it's also actually remarkably easy. When I take the bench, it's actually kind of a sanctuary in the courtroom where everything in the world now is politics, 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 right? It's a lot of noise, with the advent of the internet especially.
For the Record airs every Sunday morning at 10:30 here on News 3 Now.
Today, people living in Cottage Grove have the opportunity to learn more about the upcoming referendum on their ballot. The April 1st referendum will ask voters whether they support funding for the village's first public library. If the village votes in favor, it would increase the property tax levy by $1.3 million. Village officials will be on hand to answer questions at 2 info sessions. The first is this evening at 5:30 and the second is on Thursday afternoon at 1:30. Both sessions will take place at the Village Hall, but you can also watch the live streams on YouTube and Zoom.
In Sun Prairie, a 19-year-old man is in custody connected to a shooting. That shooting happened early Sunday morning, just after 3 o'clock. Officers responded to a home on South Bird Street. When they got there, they found a teenage girl with a gunshot wound to her shoulder. Sun Prairie police say 2 people know each other and were with another group of people before the shooting. The girl's condition is stable. If you have any information that could help out investigators, though, they would like for you to give them a call. The non-emergency line is 837-7336.
Now to New York. Columbia University no longer has $400 million in federal grants and contracts. The Trump administration canceled the deals with the Ivy League school. A White House statement says the school has not been doing enough to combat harassment of Jewish people on campus. Education Secretary Linda McMahon has hinted that Columbia officials haven't been complying with anti-discrimination laws. Not long after McMahon's comments, she said she had a productive meeting with Columbia's interim president. Pro-Palestine protests took place on many universities' grounds last academic year, including Columbia. They happened in the aftermath of Hamas's terror attack on Israel in October 2023.
Speaking of Columbia, a prominent Palestinian activist connected to the protest there is in custody. The attorney of Mohammed Khalil says that ICE agents detained him over the weekend. The agents say that the State Department ordered them to take his green card. It's unknown where Khalil is currently being held.
Meanwhile, in that war, Gaza's electricity supply is now cut off. Israeli Energy Minister Eli Cohen called for the move. The country has already cut off aid supplies to the Gaza Strip. In a video, Cohen said his country made the move to bring back the remaining hostages and drive Hamas away. Israel has not ruled out also cutting off the water supply to the region. This all comes as a fragile ceasefire between the two sides continues to hold. They have exchanged Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners in recent weeks.
Purdue Pharma will owe $7.4 billion in a bankruptcy settlement. Victims, though, in the lawsuit against the OxyContin maker are upset with that settlement. They say they'll only see a small portion of the funds. Purdue Pharma declared bankruptcy in 2019. That's after it faced thousands of lawsuits over its role in the deadly opioid crisis. One victim shared his view on 60 Minutes last night.
Do you not see this as something that could help families? This could be the only recourse they have.
Absolutely. But do I think they're getting a fair shake? Do I think that they're getting anywhere near what they're owed, knowing that you can't put a price tag to that? No way.
Is your sense that a lot of those folks might actually not receive payment?
Yes.
Members of the Sackler family who played notable roles with Purdue Pharma will pay most of the settlement amount.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, could see even more job cuts soon. Sources tell CBS News it's preparing to lose over 1,000 more employees. NOAA must submit a reduction in workforce plan to the White House by this Thursday. Tomorrow, the agency will present its plan to the Department of Commerce. The cuts will likely lead to the loss of programs which NOAA oversees. It's unclear which programs they will lose.
Oh, between the sunshine and daylight savings, spring feels like it's just around the corner. And for people in the northern states, that means it's time to start collecting sap from trees and make some delicious maple syrup. Recent weather did slow down sap production to start off the season, but it has since rebounded and is now ideal for tapping trees. Naturalists need temperatures above freezing at the daytime hours and below freezing during the nighttime to get the sap moving. And in Minnesota, that's exactly what they're seeing.
We haven't collected a whole lot just because our weather's been a little iffy with a big snowstorm that we had right after we tapped trees. Maple syrup season always feels like the first start of spring around here.
Her Nature Center has hosted local schools for maple tree tapping tours for nearly 30 years. A repair shop filled with all-female mechanics is driving equality across the pond.
The women say they're hoping to inspire others by giving the male-dominated auto industry a tune-up. CBS's Tina Kraus has the report.
At this female-powered repair shop in the British capital,
Hello, Spanners with Manners.
tools turn quickly.
Here, we've just done an oil service.
And so do some heads.
Do people ever confuse you with someone else and think you're not the mechanic?
They haven't been here before, definitely. But you get, hello, mate, you all right, mate? And you come out and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm ever so sorry.
Who are you?
Yeah, what are you doing in there?
Mechanic Laura Kennedy founded Spanners with Manners, London's first all-female garage.
How you doing, you all right?
To give customers a warmer and more welcoming environment.
I feel more comfortable coming to a female garage because basically I don't think I'm going to be lied to or intimidated knowing that I don't know what I'm talking about.
You weren't always a mechanic.
No, I used to be a hostess. I'm in a dress, I'm in heels, big hair.
Natasha Raoul says shifting gears has empowered her and her 11-year-old son, who proudly tells his friends, my mom's a mechanic.
I think that's when I felt really like, wow, oh my God, like to him, I've changed the perspective.
Women can do anything, so why not mechanics?
I'm just changing the air filter. It's a sisterhood of sorts, built on trust.
You know, everyone works hard for their money, and it's not about ripping people off. You know, if you're just honest with people, they'll come back year after year after year.
7 years in, new customers keep coming, showing integrity may be the ultimate fuel for success. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Well, if you're wondering what a spanner is, that's the word they use in Britain for a wrench.
All right. Never heard that before.
No, I'll say I'm sure maybe wrench is weird to hear from them.
Yeah, they're
from
probably
us.
like, a what?
I'm like, what do you mean, like a spanner? Yeah, you got it. Different for everyone around the world there. So very cool.
Very.
Well, let's check in with Jacob. What's coming up?
Well, we're going to see very nice temperatures today, but it's going to remain pretty mild for much of the week. I'll have more details on that coming up.
And the nomination round is officially over for the Spirit of Service campaign this morning. I'll share what happens next and when you can vote for the top veteran to win that $5,000. That's in the 608.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a final look at the 3 things you need to know. 60s for today. For tomorrow, we are going to still see mild temperatures, but they will be slightly cooler. We aren't expecting rain, though, until Friday night, where we will see quite a bit. I'll talk about that in just a moment. First, here's a final look at today's weather. Plenty of 60s, plenty of sunshine. Definitely get out and enjoy the weather. But even if you can't, it's going to be very mild for a lot of this week. Now, here's a look at some of the statistics regarding the first 60-degree day in Madison, which will likely be today. The average is around March 19th. Last year, it was February 21st. In fact, this time last year, we already had a 70-degree day. The earliest we've ever seen it is January 26th. The latest we've had our first 60-degree day is April 23rd. Likely going to see that today, March 10th, so a little bit closer to normal compared to what we saw last year. Now, for tomorrow, again, it is going to be a little bit cooler, but still mild. Highs will be near 50, maybe a little bit more cloud cover, but still pretty nice weather overall. Not going to be as windy tomorrow either. And after tomorrow, the temperatures will slowly warm back up to near 70 on Friday, so we may be talking about our first 70-degree day here in southern Wisconsin. Now, that system that's expected to impact us over the weekend, it'll be very windy throughout the weekend, and once those winds shift out of the northwest, it's going to plummet those temperatures with highs only in the 30s on Sunday. So let's take a look at the precipitation forecast for the weekend. Again, we're going to pretty much see no rain and almost no chance of rain until Friday night. But starting Friday afternoon, notice we're still pretty dry. Overnight is when the rain will move in, but even at around midnight to 1 a.m., we may still see that rain to the south of Madison. But throughout the early morning hours Saturday, we'll see a line of storms move through. And yes, we could see those thunderstorms, and a small chance they could be severe as well. That first line, though, does look to clear out early Saturday morning with some scattered light showers throughout the day. And notice once those winds shift, we could see some light snow possible, especially for areas north of Madison. But it looks like southern Wisconsin should be fairly dry for Sunday. However, just the simple fact that temperatures could be cold enough to see snow after we're going to be near 70 is pretty wild. mild for the weekend forecast. But until then, very mild temperatures this week. Could be flirting with records today. The record high is 66, forecasted high 65. For Friday, though, the record high is actually 77, so we probably won't hit it then, but it still is expected to be warmer as it will be windy. And then as we look towards next week, a bit cooler. That includes for St. Patrick's Day, but the temperatures do look to rebound for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
A very spring. Oh my gosh, it's looking spring-like out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I'm rejoicing.
It's what you've been waiting for, Kyrian.
Yes, it is. And if only we can keep some consistency, then I'll be happy. But for now, I'll take this.
Just wait until we get about 6 inches of snow sometime in late March.
Yeah,
or
let's
early
not speak that into existence. I know it's possible, but let's just not
Got about
have
6
it.
inches of snow first weekend
Come on.
of April last year.
Yeah,
Oh,
good stuff.
No. Well, we're in the 608 this morning. Our Spirit of Service campaign is officially in its next phase of the process this morning.
So Josh Breider is here with where we are now and what happens next. Hey, Josh.
Hey guys, good morning. So the nomination period is officially over this morning, and we broke last year's record, truly slamming it out of the park. We knew we were going to do it. Close to 200 nominations of local veterans came in this year, nearly doubling our number from last year. We are once again proud to partner with Vortex and Barneveld to make this happen. Vortex and News 3 Now want to recognize a local veteran making a positive impact in the community. Just like last year, the winning veteran for 2025 will receive an unconditional $5,000 cash prize presented by Vortex. So here's what's happening moving forward. This week, the Vortex board is narrowing those noms down to 5. Then, starting next Monday, the 17th, running through the 30th, you'll be able to vote for your favorite. I'll be sharing the stories for the top 5 veterans all next week, so you'll get a chance to hear their stories right here on TV. And then the winner will be announced live on April 2nd on News 3 Now this morning. You can follow this process for yourself on channel3000.com. And I should say we're saying close to 200 because as of Friday, we had 180 nominations.
Wow.
And I know we have way more over the weekend because everyone that waits until the last minute to make that happen, we're going to be well over that. Last year we had just 100. So that's double.
And think about how hard it's going to be to narrow that down to 5.
Yeah, I don't envy the folks at Vortex that have to go through these stories because, you know, we obviously asked all these certain questions. So, I mean, some of these stories are almost a novel. I mean, because these folks do so many amazing things, they're going to have their work cut out for them this week. So it'll be interesting. I'm so excited to meet them, though. This is really where things get really exciting because you get to kind of put a face to these nominations, and we're so lucky to live here.
Yes, and get to see their stories and the impact they're making in their communities, and they're still giving back even after service, which is amazing.
And Chris, I mean, you remember last year, I mean, some of these stories are quite emotional for a lot of these veterans. I mean, they're insane.
Powerful.
Big time.
It's such a reminder of the important work that goes on, and a lot of it goes unnoticed, right? I mean, these people are so humble, and they don't want to put themselves out there and get that recognition. But here's the chance to shine a light on some of this positivity going on, which is exactly what the 608's about.
That their service didn't stop when they were done. I mean, it continues all these years later. So,
ongoing.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, Josh, thank you.
You bet.
Josh is always looking for inspiration to share in the 608. A lot of the ideas that he does come from people just like you, so send your ideas to him. He'd love for you to reach out.
Coming up in the morning sprint, the latest on talks and buying TikTok.
And we want to wish a happy 3rd birthday to Lewis.
Oh.
Happy birthday. Hope you have a great one. We're back with the sprint right after this. .655, time for the morning sprint.
Former central banker Mark Carney is now the leader of Canada's Liberal Party. It means he will soon take over as Prime Minister. Carney won 86% of the vote among party members. The race began when Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stepped down as party leader in January. Carney has vowed to take on U.S. President Donald Trump with regards to tariffs.
Dane County is providing some resources to help you file your taxes. It is free. This tax prep is available by appointment only, though, for folks in Dane County. It's through the Dane County Extension Office at the Richard Dilley Tax Center. You can schedule an appointment online or by scheduling or by calling the scheduling line.
Today, people living in Cottage Grove have the opportunity to learn more about the upcoming referendum on their ballot. The April 1st referendum will ask voters whether they support funding for a new public library. The first session is this evening at 5:30. The second is on Thursday at 1:30. They'll take place at the Village Hall.
President Trump says the U.S. is in talks with 4 groups interested in buying TikTok. The Chinese-owned social media platform is facing an April 5th deadline to strike a deal or be banned in the U.S. Trump postponed a TikTok ban on his first day in office and has said that he might do it again if it's necessary.
And here's a final look at your 10-day forecast. Very nice today, a little bit cooler for tomorrow, but still on the milder side, and then it will warm up back to the 60s. After that, could be lower 70s for Friday, but then we are expecting rain Friday night into Saturday, cooling things down for next week, but let's not focus on that right now. Let's focus on the spring-like temperatures. Very nice this week.
All right. Jacob, thank you.
We're back in 30 minutes.